This is Maarte. Not quite a podcast, more like voice memos you weren't supposed to hear. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for someone is to become a stranger to them. And that sounds harsh. It sounds like you're giving up. It sounds like you didn't care enough to stay, but that's not what it is. Because nobody talks about this version of love. We're taught that love is supposed to look like staying, like fighting for it, proving it, not giving up on someone. We tend to glorify the idea of holding on, but there are moments where there is nothing left to hold on to, not because the love isn't there, but because reality doesn't leave room for it, and I've lived that. We weren't aligned the way I thought we were, so we broke up, and somewhere along the way, we found ourselves back to each other, and for a second, it felt like maybe this was it. Like we were going to give it another shot and we're going to start all over because the love was still there. But during our time apart, life kept moving. He had been seeing someone else and she got pregnant. And just like that, I decided to step back, step away, and there was no us anymore, just reality. I took it as my sign that we weren't meant to continue on, nothing left to figure out, nothing left to hold on to. And I remember sitting there realizing, this is not one of those situations where you fight for it. This isn't one of those situations where you prove your love harder. This is one of those moments where you understand there's no place for you here anymore. And that's a different kind of pain because it's not confusion, it's not mixed signals, it's clarity. And clarity doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it feels like the ground just dropped out from under you because now you're not wondering what went wrong. You know, and there's nothing you can do about it. And in moments like that, you don't chase, don't try to reshape yourself to fit into what could have been. You don't try to hold on to something that no longer exists. You become a stranger. Not because you stopped loving them, but because there's no version of staying that doesn't cost you everything. And that's the part that people don't talk about. How sometimes becoming a stranger isn't about strength, it's about acceptance. You go from knowing everything about someone, their voice, their habits, the way they laugh, the version of them that existed with you, to nothing. No access, no updates, no place in their life. You become someone who used to know them. And they become someone you still love from a distance. And that distance, it's not empowering all the time. Some days you understand it, you accept it, and other days you feel it. The loss, the shift, that life that almost was. But you don't go back because there's nothing to go back to, and that's the truth that's hardest to accept. Sometimes love doesn't end because the feelings went away. Sometimes it ends because the circumstances don't allow it to exist, and no amount of love can override that. So you do the only thing you can do. You step back fully. No lingering, no checking in, no keeping a small thread of connection alive. You become a stranger, and not in a bitter way, not in a way that erases what you had, but in a way that says, I loved you, I experienced you, and now I release you. Our last text exchange, he told me he believed we made enough memories to last a lifetime and that the love wasn't wasted. And I told him I agreed. And that was that.